Hello, folks. My name is Joe Wheaton. I'm with Utah State University, and I'd like to welcome you to Module 4, which is on the design of low-tech process-based restoration of riverscapes. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Working Lands for Wildlife, the NRCS, and Pheasants Forever, and of course the hosting of the live webinar version of this through the Association of State Wetland Managers. Your instruction team today is going to consist of myself. I'm a professor at Utah State University and principal at Anna Branch Solutions. Jeremy Maestas, an ecologist with NRCS's National Technical Training Center. And then Scott Chevardian and Nick Weber, both experienced designers with Anna Branch Solutions, have got a lot of design experience under their belt. In terms of who might be on the live version, this is similar to some information we looked at in Module 3 on planning, but sort of a nice little reminder here that those of you that responded that you had some experience in planning or any experience in planning or designing low-tech, 64 of you said extensive, and 630 said limited, and 312 said none. So certainly an appetite for design, it looks like, out there of low tech, and maybe not as much direct experience in it, even if there is quite a bit of experience in more traditional restoration design. Represented within the audience. There are a lot of you that have been involved in some way in these low-tech projects. But what we're taking some comfort in is how many of you are aspiring to be involved in not just the design, but the planning, the design, and the implementation. Is 569 of you out of the 1,000, so that's pretty good. So here we are. We are into day 3 of this 4-day series, and so Module 4 is going to be our longest slog in one module. So we're going to go from about 10 to 3:30 Mountain. We'll have a number of breaks in there to try and make it bearable. And this is also following on the heels and going to build off of planning. So if you're coming straight into the design module without having gone through the planning module, you might be a little lost. And so I would encourage you to go back and watch those segments in module 3. And this will set us up well for tomorrow, where we talk about the implementation and construction of low-tech PBR. So those of you just wanting to plan out your day, we're starting here at 10, going to about 3:30. You'll have a break at around 10:40, another break for lunch, and then we'll go straight on through till 3:30. We thought about putting a break, but since it's starting at 1, that's only 2.5 hours, and we figured you'd rather power through that and let you go early. So the topics that we're going to cover today, after this logistics intro, we're going to hear from Jeremy Maestas on an overview of how the design phase fits into the conservation planning process. And then we're going to really elaborate on design. And I'm going to start by trying to remind you of what you concluded out of the planning module, and how to lead your low-tech design with the recovery potential that comes out of planning. And Scott's going to walk you through the details of what the design process looks like. And then I'm going to try and hold your hand through, and he's going to do that at the complex scale. And a complex is a collection of structures, okay? And then what I'm going to do is actually have you do some exercises that are design exercises, which aren't at the complex scale where we typically do our designs. They're actually at the structure scale. And you'll see why we zoom into that structure scale, because it's helpful for learning, so that you can design at this broader complex scale. And then Nick Weber is going to talk about as you kind of get through this. So there's so many ways you can record these designs. You can do it on a napkin, do it in a notebook. You can do it with a fancy database-driven app. And so he's going to walk you through an example of of an app that talks about how you put that design together in the field. And that can be helpful when you start really scaling up your designs and speed up the process and get all of your designs and then your monitoring data into a database. So that's where we're going. All as with all of the modules, everything is available for free to watch later. All the workshop materials, the exercises, etc., on the website. So you want to just navigate into the workshop page and then drill down into the module page, and you'll be able to get those resources. Of course, if you're following along and you got a hard copy or a PDF of the manual, we'll be making references largely to chapter 5, which is on the design, and some references to chapter 4, which is on PALs and PDAs. We'll also make occasional passing reference to the Pocket Guide, which you can get for free. So that's where we're going today, and should be fun.